Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Court Racing League IndyCar series as we have started up season number 2, and that starts here tonight. But tonight is a little bit different. We have a doubleheaders right off the bat as these guys go from the Kansas road course to the Kansas Oval. There's 20 laps on point tonight, but anything can happen, especially with the road course essentially as looking at it right now, it is 77 degrees on the track temp, and you're looking at about 2.34 miles, and right there for the track map that you guys can see looking at the weather and everything else, you're pretty much running the oval for the most part, but you got to run that little bit of an inside infield just to get back all the way through around in here. We got a lot of new people out here for the season 2 of the IndyCar series, and it's going to be a great one to call here tonight as I'm going to switch it on over to the practice results going so far. Still have 2 more minutes left in the practice, but so far, another new person, Nick Terrell in the number 81, setting fast time. Paul Owens in second, Alex Carver in third, Frankie Francica in fourth, Sahaj Padiyar in fifth, Kevin McCann making his return back to season number 2 in sixth, Kevin Dixon in seventh, Mason Smith in eighth, Abhi Vishwavasan in ninth, Joe Morant in 10th, and in 11th, rounding out the 11 car field so far. Actually, no, there's more people out here, just haven't been able to take a lap, is the number 80 of Craig Hawkins. You guys just heard Jimmy Covert and Carl Handwerk on the ECRC side of things. I just got done racing over there, ended up picking up the win, got my quick little interview, took a couple of drinks of this big 1 liter of Mountain Dew, and now we are back here again as we have, like I said, 2 races tonight. You got the Kansas Road, and then right after, we'll take a little bit of a commercial break, and we'll switch on over to the Kansas Oval as these guys do battle on both ends of the track, the road and the oval, and a little bit of how this series will go. Obviously, you're going to have 2 cautions throughout the whole race. Basically, how that happens is, let's say, just out of curiosity, Kevin McCann ends up binning it and has to tow due to a broken wheel or a blown engine. They will call a caution. They will end up throwing that caution, let him tow, get his towing done, and rejoin with the pack. But after that, you'll only have one more, and then, like, let's say Joe Morant or Alfred Denny or anybody else were to tow, they will throw another caution, but that will be the only 2 cautions you get tonight. I believe they do get 2 fast repairs in the IndyCar series like last year, but it could have changed. Limited tires, limited fuel, but tonight is going to be a big night. Who's going to walk away with the first win of the season for road, and who's going to walk away with the first win in oval as well, as we got a double header tonight. I would have had a broadcaster in the booth with me tonight, but he has a movie night with his girlfriend tonight. So, Ricky, if you're watching this, it is okay, buddy. We have next Tuesday, or whenever the ARCA series comes into play, we have that night to work together. So tonight I will be in the booth by myself calling the action from Kansas Road. And got to give a big shout out to Joka Graphics, as they've been a part of the Core Racing League for a little bit of a while now. Couldn't do it without Joshua Billiter making all these amazing paint schemes. Well, not all of them, most of these paint schemes out here for these guys. As we're into qualifying, just a minute in, and let's see if I can find anybody out here on track. As we got the number 21 of Alfred Denny. He's going to take his first lap here. Go ahead and pull up the track map for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I see as let me find the track map here. Don't know if I can pull it up in qualifying or not. And there it is. Go ahead and bring it up. You can see Alfred Denny. He's going to take his first lap here. And you notice, it's a hard left-hander going into the infield. Excuse me. And look at that. Alfred Denny locks up the brakes just a little bit, able to get it, keep it on track. Doesn't take it off track, but he is repping that number 21 Valvoline paint scheme. And you see how much of a big dip there is going from the actual track to the apron. You know, me being an oval guy, I don't want to run the apron. I'd rather stay on the track. But with these guys in these Indy cars, they are going to have to do a little bit of both double duty as they have road courses on the schedule and they also have ovals on the schedule as well. As Alfred Denny's still taking his first lap, but Kevin McCann sitting on pole as of right now with a 103.994. We're actually going to take a lap inside of his cockpit here, see exactly what he's doing differently than everybody else out there on the field. Actually, we're going to do gyro. Gyro seems a little bit better. You can actually see without having that halo right in the middle of your face here. As give me 1 second. Just realized that was on. Sorry about that. I was practicing a road course earlier, needed the driving line so I could find out where the braking marks were as I was getting ready for a road race myself and just forgot to turn it off. So going through the infield here, get ready to come back up onto the turn 1 and 2 of Kansas. He's going to get a little bit loose, but look at that. He's going to keep it off of the track as of right now. Doesn't want to upset that car. Going to wait till the backstretch to put it back onto the actual Kansas Motor Speedway track. And we're going to see what his second time will officially be. Kevin McCann here with a little bit of a quicker lap there, 9.57. Or no, that's Frankie Franchicha with a 103.957 because so Kevin McCann still running P number 2 here. Frankie Franchicha taking over that top spot as Frankie Franchicha is making his second start in the Core Racing League IndyCar Series. Looks like it is a almost looks like a Ferrari paint scheme, but is not a Ferrari paint scheme, as that is a F1 Speed Shops, I believe, maybe. Not exactly sure, but Frankie Franchicha is showing that he has what it takes to get it done, to get around this uh, track. Our in-race reporter will not. We won't have one as of right now. Not sure exactly who I'd want to pick, but tonight we're not going to have one in the race at all. Next week I might pick a new one. But so far, the race control is Carl Handwerk, and he's going to be doing the admin duties to see if they need a caution being thrown or anything like that. But just make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment. Yours it's totally free, 100% free. Got to give a big shout out to everybody that is subscribed already, getting us over 200 subscribers and hit our next goal of possibly 400, 500, and then ultimately getting up to that 1,000 subscriber mark. If there's a problem with my microphone, please let me know so I can try to turn it up just a little bit. But so far, I don't think there's a big problem with it. Not exactly sure, but with that being said, all 11 people have qualified here, as it looks like Abhi Vishwasam and Craig Hawkins elected to not take a time, so those two will start from the back, and we will see exactly how this race does shape up. Still 7 minutes out of 10 minutes for these guys to have the qualifying done. And so far it is Frankie Franchicha sitting on pole with a 103.9, Kevin McCann in second, Alex Carver in third, Sahaj Padiyar in fourth, Mason Smith in fifth, Derek Booker in sixth, Paul Owens in seventh, Nick Terrell in eighth, Kevin Dixon in ninth, Joe Morant in 10th, Alfred Denny in 11th. So far, still, Abhi Vishwasam looks like is not going to elect to take a time. Same with Craig Hawkins, so they might just want to stay in the back and just try to pull a Dylan, as a lot of people like to call it. Like Chris Hamilton. Got to give a big shout out to him. He knows how about my restart speeds, and I think that's maybe what Abhi Vishwasam and Craig Hawkins might be looking to do. So far, it seems like nobody else is able to make it in. I know Angel Santiago was having a little bit of update issues as iRacing had a pretty big update today. Was not able to get into the race, but so far, so far it's all looking good. As like I said, there's a couple of new guys in here. There's some guys that did season one, and now we're going to see exactly what these new guys can do with these season one veterans with these IndyCars. So far, only 40 more seconds or 20 more seconds left in qualifying. That will get everybody gridded up. But got to give a big shout out to Carl and Jimmy for allowing me to join the CRN broadcasting team. I say it pretty much anytime I possibly can. Got to give them a big shout out for letting me come on board with them. As we say, Jimmy and Carl started this back in February. They brought me on as a third commentator, and it's been a lot of fun being up here in the booth and not having to worry about racing for a night. As obviously, with us getting done with the ECRC stuff, I had to hurry up, get a big drink of pop, and then jump right back into the booth. But we're going to go ahead and run down this qualifying order as we got Frankie Franchicha in P number one, Kevin McCann in second, Alex Carver in third, Sahaj Padiyar in fourth, Mason Smith in fifth, Derek Booker in sixth, Paul Owens in seventh, Nick Terrell in eighth, Kevin Dixon in ninth, Joe Moran in 10th, Alfred Denny in 11th, and then Abhi Vishwasam and Craig Hawkins in 12th and 13th, electing to not take a time. So while they're grading up, we'll go ahead and hide this real quick, bring up the track map, and bring up the race, and we will go through a couple of these paint schemes, hopefully, before we go green completely. Looking at the number, what number? Oh, 97 of Frank Franchicha here, running that F1 Speed Shop. Looking at the 033 DuPont Chevrolet IR18 of Kevin McCann. Oh, okay. Go back here. Looking at the Alex or Sahaj Padiyar and that J pad number new number for Sahaj Padiyar as he is in that number 13. Mason Smith in the number 6 Arizona Cardinals. Number 86 Derek Booker in that orange, white, and blue number 86. Kevin Dixon coming back out here in that PNC Bank. The number 21 of Alfred Denny in that number in the Valvoline. Joe Morant in that 013 all black IR18 with a little bit of silver or gray on it. Abhi Vishuv or Craig Hawkins, that number 80 machine interstate batteries. And that will round out your field as it looks like Abhi Vishwasam and Alex Carver did not elect to start just yet. But we're going to go ahead and go up here to this, turn on the go ahead and turn on the track map for you guys. Get that back up here and going. So you guys can see exactly right where they are as it's not showing up. Reload this. Will give me just a quick second as this stuff reloads. And well, there it is. We have the track map back up here as Kevin McCann is starting P number 2 alongside of that number 097 of Frankie Franchicha. And this is going to be a long 25 laps here. You know, it doesn't look like much, but when you're turning left and right, as respectively as these guys do a lot over here, you're going to see a little bit of different stuff. So we won't bring in any interviewers at the end of this race, but after the second race, we'll do the six people who ended up getting a interview at after these two races, unless they both stay the same. But pace cars getting ready to dive into pit road here. We'll go ahead and change over to Barney, the flagman, as he has the green flag almost not in the air just yet. He's just sitting there waiting for that Porsche to make his way around, and there it goes. Barney, wake up over there as the pace car is going to dip down pit road. They can't go until Barney waves that green flag as we are green, 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 and Frankie Franchicha ended up jumping the start just a little bit. Race control might have him drop back down as they are still too wide deep in the pack here. Right along with Kevin Dixon as he's following behind that number, it looks like 54 as the 86 and the 54 make uh connection there. Not sure if that is good on his part or if he planned to do that. But so far, the 86 overdrives the corner, gets it put into the grass, able to keep it straight as it looks like Alfred Denny and oh, we got a Kevin Dixon spun it around, going to keep it back going. No caution is going to be called, and you can tell who took that time to practice and who didn't, as a lot of people were able to get through that first sector of the track. So far, Derek Booker looking on the outside of Paul Owens. He's going to make that pass on the number. Or no, that's Nick Terrell. I apologize. That is Nick Terrell in the number 81 machine as Derek Booker was able to make that pass on the oval part. Now he's going to see what he can do going through the infield. This is right where he overcooked it going on the first lap. We'll see if he does the same thing here. He's going to keep it to the inside, get it slowed down, able to get through that whole spiel as Frankie Franchicha has fallen down the grid down to P number 4. Mason Smith making that run on the out to the right as somebody was able to hit the cone just a little bit. Frankie Franchicha trying to get a little bit, uh, trying to get a good run on that number 6 machine and so far not able to get that rebuttal. But so far, it looks like Kevin McCann's out to an early lead as we have another battle back here with the number 013 and the number 21 of Alfred Denny as he makes the pass on the inside on the oval section of the course. And, you know, being up here in the booth, it doesn't really look that hard, but I'm probably down there on the in the car with the track. It's a little bit harder than it looks. I mean, I'm no road course racer. I'm no road course ringer, but a lot can happen as it looks like Kevin McCann had a little bit of a mix up there. Ended up having to drop it down an extra gear just to keep it from going off the track, but able to keep it clean and green. as it looks like Sahaj Pettiar still has the number 6 of Mason Smith behind him, but Frankie Franchicha under fire from Paul Owens. Paul Owens trying to get around the numbers 097, not able to do so just yet. Paul into the grass, got to take it out wide, still in the grass, got a quarter cut just a little bit. He's going to drop that 2 positions as Derek Booker is now up to P number 5. But the top 4 haven't really changed, and there it goes. Mason Smith went wide. That's going to open up the door for Frankie Franchicha as Frankie gets back around the number 6, but the 6 is not going to wait. He's going to look to the inside, doesn't have a hole open. And now we're going to see what he can do and see if he can't just get around that number 097, get around the number 13, and try to work his way to that number 033 of Kevin McCann. So far, Mason Smith kind of went wide there. Not sure if he ended up getting an off track or not, but look at Frankie Franchichi. He's going to make a dive to the inside of that number 13. Mason Smith went wide again. 2 laps in a row. Frankie Franchicha putting the pressure on Sahaj Padiyar, trying to get around him. Not able to do so. Sahaj Padiyar able to keep the power down. But here's where Frankie Franchicha could make up a lot of time going around through the oval part of this track. You know, these cars are very aerodynamic. They could use that draft to their advantage as the 20, 80, 99, and 013 have separated themselves from the pack. Just want to go around, get some laps in, and see exactly what they can do towards the end of this 25 lap feature. As it sits right now, Mason Smith was almost about ready to get passed by the number 86 of Derek Booker, not able to do so, but look at this. Oh, Mason Smith gets a little bit loose. Keep an eye on all of these cars back here, as it looks like Mason Smith was looking to have the run on the number 097, as Derek Booker takes a little bit hot there. They both do just a little bit, nothing too serious, but so far everybody keeping it clean. Not too many incidents off the track, but that's going to open up the door for Mason Smith to try to make his way around. Oh, it looks like the Sahaj Padiyar in the number 13 had a little bit of a hiccup. That allowed the number 97 of Frankie Franchicha to get around him. What does he do here? Does he take the outside all the way around to get back around the number 097? And it looks like he might be able to do it, but what does Mason Smith do? Does he work with the 097 or does he help Sahaj Padiyar? Looks like he's going to help the 097. He might take it 3 wide here going into turn number 1. No, he's just going to back out, keep it 2 wide. They're going to make the oh, Mason Smith almost hit the back of the number 13 machine, able to keep it off of him. And that's going to shake up the order just a little bit more. But now we are 7 laps into this 25 lap race. And so far, we still have the 033 of Kevin McCann out front. As we have a battle there. Frankie Franchicha pushing Mason Smith off the track just a little bit, having to collect a cone in the middle of it. As these guys are pushing it a little relatively hard here, but keeping it as clean as they possibly can. And with these Indy cars, you know, if you touch each other's wheels or hit the front wing or rear wing, you could either lose that front wing or you could damage it in some way or another. As Mason Smith almost hits the 097, had to back out of it. I was going to give Derek Booker that spot, but not for very long as Mason Smith went straight to the apron, off of the apron onto the actual track, and he's going to be almost alongside of that number 86 of Derek Booker. Oh, Mason Smith and Derek Booker getting into it. Mason Smith's going to put it into the outside wall there. We're going to go ahead and take a look back here as Mason Smith ended up going off the track. As it looks like Derek Booker maybe got into the corner just a little bit hot. Wasn't expecting Mason Smith to come into. Oh yeah, I don't think he was waiting or expecting Mason Smith to check up that much into the corner. But Mason Smith able to get it back going here. No caution out on track, and you can see that right front or that left front, excuse me, that is broken. As we're gonna go ahead and come back up here to Frankie Franchicha, as he's actually no Alex Carver up here in P number 4, battling now, got around the number 86 machine as the 86 just locked it up and spun it around. And now we're going to look at the number 81 of Terry Terrell as the 86 was able to get going again just before the number 86 came or the 81 came back around. So far, it is Kevin McCann out to a big, wholesome lead as it looks like the 99 of Kevin Dixon is in pit road this time by. Mason Smith is out of pit road. And not a good start to the night for a couple of these drivers as they have had a couple of incidents here. But so far, so good for different ones. As it looks like Alex Carver started from the pits, is all the way up to P number 4, now trying to track down that number 097 of uh, Frankie Franchicha. And riding on board here with the number 81 of Nick Terrell in that looks like Mountain Dew paint scheme. If I'm not mistaken, yes, the Mountain Dew American flag, as it looks like Derek Booker almost lost it again going into that corner, had to check up so much as Alex Carver is really reeling in the number 097 of Frankie Franchicha. He's going to take it to the apron as quickly as he possibly can to get a good launch into turn number 1 as they start lap number 12. But look how far of a distance that Kevin McCann has gotten. He's got himself out to a good lead. Not sure if these guys will have to pit or not. Wasn't able to get any laps in as I was getting all the cameras set up, making sure everything was good for the broadcast end. But I think the big part of this is going to be how much they end up losing all that time. Like, you can gain so much time, but once you hit that heavy braking zone, that's where you're going to lose it because you're going to end up hitting that braking zone after the guy in front of you, and he's going to end up pulling away while you're still braking into the corner. But not that far of a distance on the number 097 to the number 079 as these guys are getting ready to battle it out here. Alex Carver still doing what he can possibly do. Gonna dive it just a little bit harder than the number 097. The 097 not gonna let him have it easily as he takes out a cone there. Hey, Frankie, just let you know, cone lives matter, man. We're out here in the booth helping those cones out as Alex Carver's gonna almost take it to the inside. Had to drop back just a little bit. Frankie Franchicha's gonna overdrive the corner. That's gonna move the number 079, or yeah, the 079 of Alex Carver back up to P number 3. So now he's going to start working on his teammate, Sahaj Patiar. We've seen what Sahaj, McCann, and Alex Carver can do from season 1. They're going to see if they can't just make it happen in season number 2, as it looks like the biggest battle that we have on track is the number 21 and the 80. 99, excuse me. As the 99 just got around the number 21 of Alfred Denny. He is a newcomer to this series. His teammate, Angel Santiago, was not able to get into the race due to the updates that iRacing had. It was a little bit too big, and, it happens, But so far, that is that, as we had the top 2 go into pit lane, so that gives the lead over to Alex Carver, as he's going to get credited for leading that lap, as McCann and Sahaj Patiar both took their pit stops at the same time. So now you're definitely going to wonder when these guys are going to hit pit road. And I think maybe Alex Carver might be hitting pit road this time because he never went back up on track. So maybe that's a strategy call by him, as he's getting ready to go down pit road, and that's exactly what he does. Frankie Franchichi, he's going to stay out an extra lap. We see what an undercut can do. We see what an overcut can do. Now we're going to see what these guys can do to possibly keep that lead going strong, as Derek Booker and Nick Terrell end up P1 or P2 and P3. There's a big gap between first and second place, almost 9 seconds on the gap to second place, as these guys are still going, as it looks like Kevin McCann has crashed. I'm going to jump over to that replay here. Oh, gets off the track just a little bit. Gets into the grass. Oh, and spins her sideways. No space shuttle awareness. Only one so far with the number 6 of Mason Smith. He was able to get it limped back to pit lane. But now Frankie Franchicha, what does he do? Does he go into pit road this time by? Does Derek Booker? Does Nick Terrell? We're going to see exactly what these guys do, as Frankie Franchicha is going to stay out another lap. Derek Booker and Nick Terrell both going to stay out another. Excuse me. They're going to stay out another lap as well, as it looks like the number 6 of Mason Smith. Oh, I thought Mason Smith might have been battling with somebody, but it looks like the 079 and the number 13 may have a good battle here on hand. So we're going to go ahead and jump on over to the number 079 of Alex Carver in pit lane. Not sure exactly what happened to him. Maybe a pit penalty coming out of pit road, or just didn't hit the line like he was supposed to. And the number 6 of Mason Smith is slow. And we're going to go ahead and take a look back here. Mason Smith going through that corner. Went off the track. I didn't see anything. Oh, there it is. Just got a little bit too much on that apron. Just going to spit it out, put it through the grass, get it back going. And they're going to keep it green here. So far, Sahaj Patiar, he is P number 7, but give the Frank Franchicha still in P number 1, as he is not yet pit. So the top 4 still had the pit, and then once everything comes back to it, it should go back to Kevin McCann with the lead. as Alfred Denny has spun and came to a stop here. Going to go ahead and jump back to a quick replay of this. Maybe it was the same corner, the same corner. Yeah, he just overdrove it just a little bit, got those left sides into the grass, and around it goes. Space shuttle time, as he might have broken that left rear, and he didn't, surprisingly. That was real surprising. As maybe, yeah, look at that dog walking car over there. Look at that. That is really bad. We'll go ahead and go to a rear chase. You can see there, he can't really keep a hold of that car. As we're gonna go ahead and go back to the live scene here. As Alfred Denny elected to tow, but not putting out a caution. As these guys are on lap 18 out of 25. Still no major changes in the grid order, but I'm actually kind of. I wonder if Frankie Franchicha can make it on fuel. I mean, it's going to be a tough task. You're going to have to save a lot of fuel to make it the whole way. Just not exactly sure what the fuel mileage was for tonight, but we're going to see what Frankie Franchicha can do while being in P number one. As Alfred Denny, we're actually going to pull Alfred Denny up here into the broadcast booth while he's getting a little bit of a tow here. And we're going to see exactly just what happened to that number 21 machine as Alfred Denny is in the broadcast booth. Alfred, this is Dylan in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, man. Well, I just happened to see you went off track and then you made your car a space shuttle and ended up dog walking the car all the way back around the racetrack. Couldn't get it back into pit road, so you elected to tow. And did you tell race control that you didn't want to caution, you just wanted to keep it green?
Yeah, I figured we'd keep it green. This is my first ever IndyCar race, so I'm kind of surprised I made it as far as I did without wrecking it. But these things are a blast to drive. I'd recommend everyone give them a shot.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, your teammate, Angel Santiago is not able to be here tonight, so I mean, you're kind of doing it solo as of right now. But hopefully he gets his iRacing updates done and he can be here for the oval portion of tonight. And yeah, I mean, to go 18 laps, 17 laps without wrecking it or getting it going off track or anything like that, to have that little mistake is actually pretty good for somebody that has never. Have you ever driven these cars before, Alfred?
Mm, Not in an actual race. I've done like a practice or two, just playing with controls and stuff like that, but never actually at race speed. So
Yeah. See, now me, it would have been lap one for me. So I mean, hey, it happens. You can't uh, be perfect every single race. As you've seen it Thursday night. I pride myself on being pretty clean. And, Knoxville happened. Sorry, Chris. As the 86 just had to go off track, had to lock him up right in front of the number 81. But, Knoxville happened with me and Chris Hamilton. And then Talladega happened between me, Paul Butler, and the number 67 of Corey Shelman. As a lot of people said, I bulldozed my way to the front. But it is Talladega. You have two hands on the back of your car that says, push me. I'm going to give you a
yep,
push.
got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, you are back out here on track, so we're going to go ahead and let you go back down to your quiet room here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you after the end of second race.
Sounds good.
All right, that was number 21 of Alfredetti. You heard it here, folks. He has not ran these cars at all, just in a practice session, not a race session. But Derek Booker is in pit road this time by. Going to go back up here to the race leader. Frankie Franchicha still has yet to make a pit stop. But that moves Nick Terrell into P number one, or P number two, excuse me, as Frankie Franchicha is trying to do the long overcut. He's only got 4 more laps. Can that tank last for 4 laps? As we're getting ready to take lap number 22 out of 25. Got to give a big shout out to Barry Kistler out there in chat saying good luck to all you drivers tonight. as he is a big supporter in the CRN and the Core Racing League as a whole. And it looks like Derek Booker ended up crashing. Not sure exactly what happened. Maybe he got back onto the throttle just a little bit too much. And yeah, excuse me. He ended up getting on the throttle and not turning or braking and turning at the same time. And that's just something you don't really want to do in these Indy cars is they have a lot of downforce, but they do tend to spin out just a little bit too much as the number 80 machine is getting passed by, I believe it was the 21 of Alfred Denny. So Alfred Denny's going to make the pass on that number 80 machine. And now Kevin McCann is all over the back bumper of that number 81 as he closed in that gap pretty close. But what can Kevin McCann do? What can the 097 do? Can the 097 save enough fuel to make it to the end and capture the race win number one of the season? As it's only 25 laps. I don't know how many laps these guys can go on a tank of fuel, but I know his tires have to be screaming at him as of right now with going left, right, left, right, left, right. Looking back here in the pack, Derek Booker, he's right there with the number 80 machine. He's having a little bit of a connection issues, but the 6 of Mason Smith is back into pit lane. Not sure exactly what happened to Mason Smith as he's going to bring it down pit lane. The 80's just going to go back up on track, get out of everybody's way, let them go by as the 013 of Joe Moran's going to make his way around that number 80 machine once he gets up to him. But back up here, it is Kevin McCann on the back bumper almost of that number 81 of Nick Terrell. And you can see just some of these guys' rims, you can see them, other ones you can't. But going into a heavy braking zone, you can definitely see uh, the brakes glowing super strong on all these cars. As you know, there are heavy braking zones on this racetrack. It's not that hard of a road course by any means. I mean, it looks kind of big, but I mean, if you think about it, you only got a little bit of an infield section, unlike, Daytona or the Charlotte Roval. As Kevin McCann gets off track just a little bit there, going to take it through the grass. He is right on the back of that number 81. Does he force the 81 into a mistake as Kevin McCann actually gets a little bit loose going through that little U-turn area? And now Kevin McCann's got to play catch up again just before they get back onto the oval part of Kansas Speedway. It would be nice if iRacing put out there the put out like a brake failure module or throttle sticking or something like that. Just throw a monkey wrench in somebody's plans. Why don't you? That would actually be pretty awesome to see if iRacing could possibly do that. Not sure if they will ever do that, but or you could have what happened to Carl or not Carl, Carl or I just said Carl, Kevin Harvick in the Darlington race. His car caught on fire without hitting the wall or anything. So that would actually be cool to see flames come out of the car if you hit the wall a little bit too hard or if you had a oil line break. But so far it is Kevin McCann still trying to catch up to that number. Oh, he spins right in front of him. Good save by the number 033 to not hit him. We're going to go ahead and go back to a quick caution, or not caution, but we're going to go ahead and jump onto Kevin McCann, and we're going to ride on the gyro of this number 033. We're going to see exactly what happened here as they go into the corner. Nick Terrell, you can see the car's already a little bit sideways, and right there he just knows, okay, what can I do to not hit the 033 as he slides back across. Kevin McCann takes the outside looking in, and that will do it for that. But Frankie Franchicha taking the. Oh, Kevin McCann actually got is on. What? Frankie Franchicha had to pit on the very last lap. Oh, Frankie Franchicha tried and he came so close. Just one lap away from going for gold. But that's going to give the first race win here to Kevin McCann as he will win the road course. As we do that, we're going to go ahead and cut to a commercial break once we get these results in and done, as they are on lap 26 of 25. So they're coming to take the checkered flag as of right now. That's going to be the 033 of Kevin McCann, the 13 of Sahaj Pettyart, and Frankie Franchicha, your top three. With that being said, we'll go ahead and run down these race order as of right now. Oh, let me go ahead and empty that. Sorry, give me 1 second here, folks, as I get these results pulled back up here. Kevin McCann coming home the victor in race number one. Sahaj Pettyar in second. Frankie Franchicha in third. Alex Carver in fourth. Derek Booker in fifth. Joe Morant in sixth. Nick Terrell in seventh. Paul Owens in eighth. Kevin Dixon in ninth. Mason Smith in 10th, Craig Hawkins in 11th, Alfred Denny in 12th, and Abhi Vishwasam in 13th. With that being said, maybe there is a couple of people down here in the chat broadcast waiting room. We do, so we'll go ahead and get some interviews going as we get ready to go to our second race on the Kansas Oval side instead of the road course side. But in the booth with me right now is our second place finisher of Sahaj Pettyar. Sahaj, this is Dylan in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you didn't really leave anything on the table from last season to this season. I mean, you ran a pretty good race. You had a tough competition coming up through the field, able to keep your car clean, and just didn't have enough to run down Kevin McCann, even though he spun coming out of pit road on his first pit stop.
Yeah, it was a tough race. The track layout just it was very different from what I'm used to running in these Indy cars, just banking to this very flat road course. Had an incident with my teammate Alex, which hey, what are you gonna do? But I feel like I had a bit more to catch up to Kevin, but didn't turn out well for this first race.
Yeah, coming home P number two isn't a tough or it isn't, an easy task. I mean, like you said, the road course was a little bit tough going from a high banked oval to a flat road course in the infield. But you were able to keep the car clean for the most part, able to keep it on the track, didn't take any cones with you, and
Not yet.
were able to keep it in P number two. So are you gonna what's gonna be the transition from the road course to the oval track as you guys get ready to take part in that second race?
I've turned left before, so I think I can handle this oval pretty well. I guess just dealing with that arrow push is gonna be the biggest challenge that anyone's gonna have to deal with.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, with all of the different that you have, especially on a road course, you turn left and you're turning right, you're going to be now on going left, and now you got to worry about the draft and how much the car pushes. So, what are you going to be able to do to make sure that you don't get arrow tight behind somebody and end up putting yourself on the wall?
Yeah, just being airtight. You really gotta abuse your weight jacker. You really gotta mess with your throttle input, keeping that steady. On top of that, just like managing your roll bars. Apparently that helps, and I've noticed that ever since I finally got those in like a controllable setup on my wheel. So yeah, I'm gonna be pushing a lot of buttons this race.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here, and we'll hopefully be talking to you after the second race of the night.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you again.
All right. Well,
Thank you, man.
actually, before you get on out of here,
Oh,
is there any sponsors you want to give a shout out to, just in case if we don't get to talk to you at the end of the night?
oh, you don't believe in me? Okay.
I do. It's been a long day. Okay, I just got done
Okay.
racing and had to come over here and do the broadcast side of things. So it's going to be a really long and eventful night for myself up here in the broadcast booth.
I can imagine. JPad Discount Liquors for sponsoring me. QZ Motorsports for supporting me and Alex to run this series, and just all the things we use on the side. Moser Racing for the wheels, VRS, all that stuff.
Alrighty, well, there you have it. Sahaj Padiyar coming away, P number two. We're going to go ahead and bring in our third place finisher. That will be Frankie Franchicha. Frankie, this is still in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Frankie, I'm not sure if you can hear me. There you go. I'll just get ready to tell you that your mic was muted, but you are in the CRN broadcast booth. And man, I thought you had it without a pit stop there. I thought you were going to come home with the first win of the season.
Hello, hello.
I can hear you, buddy, loud and clear.
Sorry, Siri. I had the push to talk in the Discord.
Oh man, dude, you're good, buddy. You're good. I mean, you had a hell of a run there. I think you pit on like lap 24 out of 25. I thought you were going to go the whole distance. Just ended up falling just a little bit short.
I don't know. I started the race and I don't know why I thought that Saha and Kevin their strategy was like no stops, and I tried to save fuel, but my problem was the three, four first laps. I was in the first map of the car, and I lost the race in that laps. And in the middle of the race, I thought to do one stop. That was probably the smartest idea. But I don't know why I tried to go till the end, and I didn't have enough fault. So I prefer to secure the points and stop.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you ended up finishing P number three, so not a big advantage to Kevin McCann or Sahaj Padiyar as you did finish P number three. Now you move on to uh, the oval side. Are you looking
Yeah,
forward to the oval, or are you just looking forward to the roads?
I don't know. I'm really looking forward. I have to say I think I'm improved a little bit, and I'm running right now in the last weeks a lot of ovals. Actually, I improved not so many, but something my rating in oval. So I'm really looking forward to the to the oval race. Actually, I'm more excited for the oval race than the road race, which is not usual for me. But no, I'm starting to feel better in the ovals.
Yeah, well, see that's all that it takes is you being comfortable with the oval, especially the IR18 with it how uh tight it does get and arrow push it does get. But before we let you get on out of here and start this second race, is there anybody want to give a shout out to? Frankie?
Sorry, I didn't listen the last question, man.
See if there's any shout outs you wanted to give to anybody
Nah,
out there watching.
no. Yes, I'm kind of concentrate and really looking forward to the over race, and I hope to see you later again in the booth.
All right, thanks, buddy. You will hopefully talk to you at the end of the second race.
I hope so.
All
Thanks.
righty. That was our excuse me. That was our third place finisher of Frankie Franchicho. We're going to go ahead and bring in our race winner, Kevin McCann. You had a little bit of a issue coming out of pit road, but able to regain the lead right there, coming to white flag. Kind of walk us through how the car felt, what the tires felt like after you ended up getting them a little bit too hot after that little bit of a spin you had.
Yeah, it was pretty hard on the tires. The track was. I lost the rears pretty quickly into the run, both runs. So it's just trying to manage that. I knew there were probably going to be some guys that tried to stretch the fuel out and do a no stopper. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't know if it was going to be quicker or not, but I just didn't feel like fuel saving the whole race. So I pretty much committed to that, cutting the race in half, stopping there halfway, and pretty much just going as hard as I could for 12, 13 laps each stint. And I felt like it would have been a little bit easier if I didn't lose those, what, like 10 seconds where I, made that mistake coming out of pit road. But caught Nick there last lap, and I think he made that mistake, and then he also ran out of fuel. So it came down to the line. He almost had it, that's for sure. But ultimately, good race, come out on top, first race of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you had a little bit of a hiccup, but you were right there for the taking. And I know you had a old brown pants moment there when Nick Terrell ended up spinning out right in front of you. I was actually watching you guys battle, and that happened. And I was like, oh, that was good. Heads up awareness driving by the number 033, not able to hit him, move it to the outside, and able to get the win of the season. But now you go to the oval side, and we already know what you can do on the ovals. Are you going to try to make it 2 for 2 on the night?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Kind of a wild card here. Just turned my first laps here in practice, so we'll see. Again, it's going to be all about tire management and then keeping the car clean. So I'll give it all I got.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that as you're get ready on that second race. We're going to go ahead and let you send any shout outs you have, and we will hopefully see you in the second race.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody who puts on the Core Racing League and you guys for doing the broadcast.
All right, thanks, Kevin. All right, well, that's going to do it for the interviews here really quick. I'm going to go ahead and go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the second race on tap. So don't go anywhere as these guys go on the oval side instead of the road side. Alrighty, guys, we are back here with the IndyCar series as these guys are on the oval side this time. And they only had 10 minutes of practice, and now they are back in it for qualifying as of right now. And this race is going to be a little bit longer than the road race that was just had, but hopefully we'll see some more guys out here tonight as they get ready to start their second race of the season here tonight. So far, I'm seeing the same people that was out here, and we're going to see exactly what does happen as Alex Carver was P number one, but now he's P number two to Kevin McCann, as Kevin McCann is out there with a 25.12, and Kevin Dixon up there in P number two as he's get ready to looks like start his second lap. So our in race. Oh, Paul Owens out up on top with a 25.124. And that's going to be a good time for Mr. Paul Owens as he's going to be looking to start on the pole. They do lone qualifying out here tonight. So with that being said, I'm still not seeing anybody in Discord. So far, everybody that has taken the time is Paul Owens, Kevin McCann, Kevin Dixon, Alex Carver, Frankie Franchicha, Sahaj Pettiar, Joe Morant, Alfred Denny, and Nick Terrell. As those are your 9 cars that have been able to take a time. Still waiting on Derek Booker and Craig Hawkins. So far, still, let's see, we have Nick Terrell out there on track. We have, that's the only guy out there on track. I think he's just running some more laps to get used to the car slash track. As, this track does run a little bit different than the road course. They're only making left-hand turns this time instead of left-hand rights. But like I said earlier, guys, if there's any issues with my audio, let me know as I will try to get it fixed for you guys as we're getting ready to start our second race of the night. So far, nobody else electing to go out there and take a time here. Kevin McCann is out there on track now yet again. So I think they can do as many laps as they possibly want to. But then again, I'm not 100% sure as these guys are taking their time working this track. Two laps, okay. They only get 2 laps of qualifying. So Kevin McCann ending his qualifying run, getting down into pit road, out of pit road, nice and easy, seeing what he can do, what he can't do. But as of right now, we're going to go ahead and look at the best time here as the Paul Owens and Kevin McCann almost tied the exact same lap time, 25.125 to a 25.124. So Kevin McCann in P number 2 and Paul Owens in P number 1. And then you go down to Kevin Dixon with a 25.131, Alex Carver with a 25.133. Then you go Frankie Franchicha 25.185, Sahaj Padiyar 25.197, Joe Morant with a 25.2, Alfred Denny with a 25.2, and Nick Terrell with a 25.6. But so far, it looks like Kevin McCann is just trying to get some more practice laps at this track, as you heard him say in his interview, he just started taking laps at this track. And so far, he looks pretty good as he's going to dive it down to the inside and see what he can do. See how far he can judge it going into pit road. And that might be a little bit too far there, Kevin. Yes, sir, as he went through that caution cone. So far, 3 more minutes left in this qualifying session. Kevin McCann going to find his pit stall, stop, and tow out of it. So there's all the cars that have qualified so far. Still waiting for the 86 of Derek Booker and the 80 of Craig Hawkins to take their respected 2 laps of qualifying. But so far, if you are out there watching, make sure you like, share, subscribe, as we have surpassed our 200 subscribers. Now on to our next goal, and hopefully up to 1,000 subscribers. You seen earlier as the ECRC guys went to Charlotte this earlier tonight with Jimmy and Carl in the booth, and I was down on track. Ended up having some throat problems with my throat being a little bit sore from doing a little bit of talking and being dry, as we had 0 cautions in that ECRC race. So my throat was a little parched, but able to get some liquid going down my throat. But now we are on to the final race of the night, and that will be Kansas Speedway as these guys get ready to go around this 1.5-mile oval, D-shaped oval, I should say, instead of taking that in-field shortcut. So far, just 30 more seconds on the clock for qualifying. It looks like Derek Booker and Craig Hawkins are not going to put down a lap time here tonight. So they're going to start from the back and see if they just can't work their way up to the front. Going to go ahead and run down these qualifying orders here as we have the Paul Owens in the number 54 machine going to start P number 1, Kevin McCann in second, Kevin Dixon in third, Alex Carver in fourth, Frankie Franchicha in fifth, Sahaj Padiyar in sixth, Joe Morant in seventh, Alfred Denny in eighth, Nick Terrell in ninth, Derek Booker in 10th, and Craig Hawkins rounding out your 11 car field in 11th. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Alfred Denny again. He's been kind of our in-race reporter this time by. Is he doesn't have a lot of time in these cars, but we're gonna make it worth his while as we are now talking to the number 21 of Alfred Denny. And Alfred, we're not on the road course anymore. Now we're going oval racing. Your kind of specialty. How do you think your race is going to end up being, and how do you think this race in general is going to end up going?
I think it's going to be better for me than the last one, but these things are fast, really fast, and it'll be interesting to see the differences of when you're in a stock car. You can kind of bump and bang. You can't really do that in these cars, so it's definitely going to have to be a lot more give and take than I'm used to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're going to be messing with that weight jacker all the way around this track, getting it from the I can't even tell you the right terminology for the weight jacker, but it is what it is. I mean, what else can I say? But yeah, it it's gonna be high flying action all the way around the track. But pace cars get ready to go off a pit road. So we're going to go ahead and let you get back up to right where you were, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, that was Alfred Denny in the number 21 machine. We're going to go ahead and go up to the starter cam here. Did not get a chance to do the cameras, so we're just going to go ahead and go back to the TV number 3, as Paul Owens will lead them to the green. He can't go until Barney, the flagman, waves the green flag. They are in the Geico restart zone, and green, green, green. We are back under racing as Kevin McCann on his outside. Not going to let Paul Owens get the good jump, as Paul Owens got to run that inside. They're all still stacked up 2 by 2 by 2, as Kevin McCann is trying to get to the inside of that number 54 machine. Not able to do so, but here comes Kevin Dixon. He's going to get right up on that back bumper of the number 54 machine. Going to give him a little bit of a push going into turn 3. And they are kind of single filed all the way through the back. You're going to jump back to Alex Carver as he's riding behind the number 033 of Kevin McCann. Sahaj Padiyar, he's right behind Alex Carver, but he's running the inside. Carver running the middle. Kevin Diggs is going to move up the track just a little bit, giving the spot to him. Craig Hawkins ends up coming to a stop. Not sure what happened here. Going to go back to a replay. Oh, he got into the apron just a little bit. Going to take it around for a quick little spin off the track. That's not going to bring out a caution as of right now, as he gets that 80 machine back up and going. Going to jump back up to the live scene here. Sahaj Padiyar running that outside, then jumps back down to the inside. Alex Carver still running the outside here as they're passing the number 80 machine, as we had a pass for the lead there, as Kevin McCann got around the number 54 of Paul Owens. But what does they do? Alex Carver might push it 3 wide, thought better of it. They're still going to be 2 wide going down into turn number 1 and 2. Alex Carver Robbins still helping Kevin McCann, but it is Paul Owens with the lead, and that Joker Graphics Dark Angel machine almost gets into the back of the number 54, able to keep it clean and clear. As you got 2 teammates in the Sahaj Padiyar and the 13 and the 079 of Alex Carver battling side by side. Paul Owens going to get away from that apron, doesn't want to hit it, so blocks the oncoming run from the number 033. He's got to check up just a little bit. That's going to give the run to the number 13 of Sahaj Padiyar. He's going to take it from third to first. He's going to get credited for leading this lap. They are 4 wide in the back, and there goes 2 around. Not sure exactly who it was, but it looks like it was not. It was the 097 of Frankie Franchicha. Not sure exactly what happened to these guys. We're going to go ahead and take a look back here as they went 4 wide coming out of this turn. So you see here, Kevin Dixon, he goes a little bit hard, gets into the number 21 of Alfred Denny. That's going to send him down into the number 86 in the 097 of Derek Brooker. They're going to spin it out pretty much. No space shuttles I see as of right now. Maybe there might be one if he can't get it straightened out. Able to do so, and that'll bring out our first caution of the night. So Frankie Franchicha ended up finishing P number 3, but is now P number 10, as he was involved in that first caution out here on track. Sahaj Padiyar was able to get the lead as he is playing peekaboo with us up here in the broadcast booth inside of the pace car. And you got Kevin McCann in P number 2, Paul Owens in 3rd, Alex Carver in 4th, Alfred Denny running P number 5, Kevin Dixon in 6th, Derek Booker in 7th, and everybody elected to pit but Sahaj Padiyar. That is interesting. Sahaj Padiyar chose to stay out. The 80 stayed out, but the 80 is 1 lap down. He will get the lucky dog. He's going to be back on the lead lap. But this is where it's going to be a little bit interesting. Sahaj is going to be on the older tires. Granted, it's only been 8 laps, but 8 lap tires do make a difference. As, you know, especially with the speeds that these guys are hitting in the Dallara IR18s. The speeds can travel a little bit. They're going to have fresher tires. They can pretty much put the car wherever they need to, while Sahaj has to play defense wherever he goes. But that move by Sahaj going from third to first was probably a top 10 on the tonight's episode of CRN, as he used that inside line to take care of that advantage, getting the lead and not looking back. But now he's got everybody in the field from second to 11th on fresher tires. Going to see exactly what he can do and see if he can hold these guys off. Going to go ahead and see if I have these. I do not have any cameras set up, so we can't go through and watch or look at these cars, as wasn't able to save the cameras from the other night at the truck race, and now we have to go by what iRacing gives us. But so far, you can see Derek Booker back there warming up his tires, as it could make a big difference here. But so far, it is Sahaj out front, McCann in P number 2, Paul Owens in third, Alfredetti moving up one spot to P number 4, Kevin Dixon in fifth, Derek Booker in sixth, Alex Carver in seventh, Nick Terrell in eighth, Frankie Franchicha in ninth, Joe Morant in 10th, and Craig Hawkins rounding out your 11 car field. As it looks like Nick Terrell went back down pit lane to get a little bit more fuel put back in the car, as we're looking here. And Sahaj elected to take the inside, Kevin McCann on the outside. Now, with this being the way it is, Sahaj can go as soon as the pace car goes down pit lane. He can get on that loud pedal and send him on into turn one. So now it is a guessing game for the number 033. When does this 13 go? Does he not go on the lead or on the green, or does he go just a little bit before? That's going to be the big difference here tonight, as these guys are playing by a little bit different rules. No push to pass, no towing for a caution. Two cars get into an accident that will bring out a yellow, as we just seen Frankie Franchicha and the 86 of Derek Booker cause the first one. Pace car is into pit road. When does Sahaj go? And he is on the loud pedal. Look at that big jump that the number 13 got on the number 033. He's going to probably tow with the number 54, but the 54 is going to jump up behind the number 033 of Kevin McCann, but they are too wide with Kevin. Oh, Kevin McCann gets turned by the number 54, and that's going to scatter everybody. That's going to bring out another caution, as we're going to go ahead and go back to a SDK actually did not pick it up. We're going to go ahead and roll it on back here, as we're going to look and see exactly what happened to the number 033 machine, as he was able to keep it off the wall. So good driving efforts by him. We're going to go ahead and move it on back to a chase camera. Go ahead and play it here. We're going to move on. Actually, what I could do is go to gyro. We'll go to Paul Owens' view here. That looks even better. Oh, Kevin McCann just got a little bit loose, and Paul Owens had nowhere to go. But still, I mean, with these cars being as fast as they are, something like that happens pretty darn quick, and there's really nothing that you could really do, as Paul Owens was not able to get the car slowed down just in time and ended up tagging the number 033. But Paul Owens going down into pit lane. He looks like he still has both parts of that front wing, but I can already hear it now. I'm just taking a wild guess. I can hear Paul Owens sit there saying, I am so sorry for that boneheaded move. It's just these cars are so quick, and when you lose control like that, it is it's almost impossible running that close behind somebody to get the car slowed down. As Paul Owens was able to get back out there. And we're at 13 laps in of this 65 lap race. And still, two cautions. And I think Paul Owens did end up getting the EOL for that race incident, as he's going to be in the back to start off this field. He's got to wait for the number 80 machine to come around and pass. And then we will end up getting this stuff going back green. So Paul Owens is back in the back, but Sahaj Padiyar and Kevin Dixon are P1 and P2 respectively. Sahaj still playing peekaboo with us up here, hiding his IR18 inside of the pace car. And now he's riding half on the apron, half on the track. And that's something that you don't really want to do. You've seen the 80 earlier end up spinning, running that apron. And now they are one to go. He elected to take the inside yet again. And now it's up to Kevin Dixon. What does Kevin Dixon do? Does he try to time it a little bit better than Kevin McCann did? Or is he just going to let him get out to that big early lead and just use the draft to catch back up? As we got the pace car coming through turn 3 and 4, he's going to go down into pit road this time by. Sahaj Padiyar is the lead car this time by. What does Sahaj do? Does he go early like he did earlier? Does he wait a little bit longer to keep these guys guessing when he's going to go? And he's off to the races. He's going to get a good jump again on the number 99 this time of Kevin Dixon. Alex Carver, he's going to drop to the inside. Derek Booker, he's on the inside. They're almost single file all the way through this pack. No big two file racing here as Kevin McCann, he's trying to make his way up to the back. They are almost 3 wide going into turn number 3 and 4 as Derek Booker took the 079. The 99s get a little bit tight. They're almost 3 wide again as Alex Carver was able to get around the number 99 of Kevin Dixon. And this is where those new tires are going to come into play. What are they going to do to get around the number 13 of Sahaj Padiyar? And look at that. Derek Booker's going to take the draft from the number 13, going to dive back up to the outside. And now he's going to have the high side rolling. These two are kind of pulling away from the 079 of Alex Carver. Alex Carver's got two more guys behind him. Frankie Franchicha, haven't really talked about him tonight as Derek Booker still looking on the outside to make that move. He got to his rear quarter panel, not able to make the pass, but Kevin McCann is trying his hardest to get back up to the front. Going to put Paul Owens under the apron, and that's going to not allow Kevin McCann to get around him. Going to go ahead and jump back here to that battle with these two guys as they got the 013 of Joe Morant battling with them as Kevin McCann's going to do it around the outside. Gets past the number 54 of Paul Owens, and you can fit a blanket through these top four as Derek Booker is still trying his hardest to get around the outside, not able to do so. Sahaj Padiyar blocking that move. He goes right back up to the outside, got a good run on the outside, going to be alongside of him going into turn number 1 and 2, but not able to keep the speed down. He's going to have two teammates working together, so look for that number 079 to drop down and help his teammate of Sahaj Padiyar. Going into turn number 3 and 4, still a car length separates the top 3, as Frankie Francischia is sitting P number 4 with Kevin Dixon in 5th. So you got the top 5 all underneath a blanket, as Kevin McCann has ran the fastest lap of the race with a 24.815. Frankie Francischia on the outside now. Now you got 3 cars on the inside, 3 cars on the outside. What does Derek Booker do? He's going to put it on the outside yet again. And that is a good, smart heads-up move, as these guys are still trying to get a lap led with that number 86 machine of Derek Booker. Derek Booker trying to do what he can to get around Sahaj Patiar, but Sahaj is not letting go of that bottom. Derek Booker's got to make it work on the outside. He's getting a little close to that number 13 machine. As there's a wreck in the back. Paul Owens ends up looping it. Not sure exactly what happened, as I caught a little glimpse of it here. As he comes down, gets on that apron, gets a little bit loose, goes into the grass, and it is space shuttle time. Loses the front nose, loses the front wing, and ends up going to the pits. No caution out on track, and there goes Frankie Francischia again with the 097, and that's going to have a couple of guys out there on track, as we have another caution on track, and that was netcode if I ever seen it. We're going to go ahead and rewind this and slow it down just a little bit more, take you on a chase camera with the number 079 of Alex Carver. So you can see here, Alex Carver is going to move up just a little bit. Netcode gets the best of both worlds, ends up tagging the number 097 of Frankie Francischia, loses the front wing. So you have a space shuttle in this quarter, and you have a space shuttle of the 097 possibly, if he was able to keep it off the wall. But both of those back tires are broken on that number 079. So now we're going to see, yeah, Frankie Francischia was able to keep it off the wall, surprisingly, as let's see if Frankie Francischia was. Francischia did not get hit by any other driver while doing a pirouette all the way down the start backstretch. Everybody coming in this time to get a new set of tires and some more fuel. Frankie Francischia is in pit road. Not sure if he had to tow or what his problem was, but so far everybody taking it down pit lane, and everybody's going to use that time to get a new fresh set of tires, as it is, I think Sahaj might have beat Kevin Dixon out of pit road. And I mean, when I say he beat him out of pit road, I mean like just by a little bit of a bumper, as it's actually giving it to Kevin Dixon. So Kevin Dixon beat the number 13 out of pit road. Looking here at the number 86 of Derek Booker. He is P number 2, or P number 3, excuse me, as he's going to be on the inside. And now we're going to see a different leader, see what strategy he takes for the race start. Does he take the outside or does he take the inside? Still, pace car lights are still on. So these guys are going to get a couple more laps around here before they double file it back up. And we will see exactly what these guys do, as these guys have yet to... still another pace lap here, as the pace car lights are still on. Going to wait for the number 80 machine of Craig Hawkins come out of pit road. Paul Owens and Frankie Franchicha are both out of this race. And you hate to see it as these guys are not going to be able to finish this race. So far, it is 26 laps out of 65. It is season 2 of the IndyCar series, and so far it's been good racing. Tomorrow night we do have Core Vintage Cup Series as Carl and Jimmy are in the booth, and I am back in the car at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So another double header. We had Talladega last week, and now we have Charlotte this week in both series as I try to make it 2 for 2 on Charlotte. But so far, it still looks like Sahaj Patiar is playing peekaboo with us inside of that pace car. Kevin Dixon elected to take the inside, so we're going to see when he decides to go for this restart. But look at that, Kevin McCann up back up to P number 4 as they are almost all side by side. But there's a lot more people on the inside than there is on the outside. Alex Carver is 1 lap down. Not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe the damage that he ended up having from that wreck put him 1 lap down as these guys are getting ready to go green. Going to go ahead and jump up to our race leader, Kevin Dixon, here as he's going to bring these guys back to green. And we're going to see exactly when he goes. He can go as soon as the pace car hits pit lane. The pace car is in pit lane. When does he go? In 3, 2, 1. He is gone. Shot out like a cannon. He left the number 13 in the dust. But now everybody is all back as they just took the number Alfred Denny and Alex Carver took the number 80 machine 3 wide right off the start. So I wonder if the number 80 machine was under power and he was letting them know, like, hey, I'm going to stay in the middle. Just take it to the outside and the inside if you need to. Kevin McCann using that apron. All the apron is Sahaj Petiar gets to the inside of the number 99 of Kevin Dixon. He's going to lead that lap, but here comes Sahaj Petiar. He's back underneath and it regained the lead. But here comes Kevin McCann. He's been fast all night, especially at the road course. Now he's at the oval, and now he's back up to P number 3. So we're going to see what Kevin McCann can do to get around these two as Kevin Dixon goes straight to the outside. Same with Kevin Dixon. And Sahaj Patiar is just content running that inside line. And now we're going to see what Kevin Dixon can do. Can he do what Derek Booker couldn't and pass Sahaj Patiar back on the outside? Almost looks like Kevin Dixon's getting a little bit tight coming out of turn number 3 and 4. Not sure if he's using a little bit of a side draft effect and then getting away from him coming out of the corner to get a better run off or not. But so far, Sahaj Patiar holding strong in P number 1. Kevin Dixon going to go down to the inside and then drop it all the way back up to the wall. He's going to get alongside of the number 13, possibly, as they go back into turn number 1 and 2. Derek Booker in P number 4, letting these guys battle it out because once they get side by side, that's going to open up the door for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. As these guys are battling it pretty hard, but keeping it clean, keeping a little bit of distance between each other as well. Kevin Dixon still trying to get to his outside. Now, if I was in this race and I seen that and I couldn't get around him, I'd be using that apron to my advantage because he's got to let you come back up on the racetrack. And that could help you out beneficially as Kevin Dixon is almost made it happen on the outside there going down the backstretch. Had the help from Kevin McCann, and that's going to keep him back into P number 2. As we are looking here now, Kevin Dixon still running P number 2. The top 4 still the same. Going to go ahead and drop back here to Joe Morant as he is running P number 5. Good race from him so far on the oval side. As look at that. Sahaj Padiyar is running all the way down on the inside. And the top 4, our top 5 are pretty much running the outside. Alfredetti back up to P number 6 as he's got Alex Carver on his outside. Alex Carver is no stranger to these Indy cars. Ran a good season last season. Trying to back it up this season with a good photo finish. Well, not photo finish, but a good start to this season as he is only 1 lap down, but he's racing like he is on the lead lap, trying to get that lead lap back as he got around the number 21 of Alfredetti. Now, Kevin McCann using that apron to his advantage. He's going to get around the number 99. And if I'm Sahaj, I'm going to be looking at what Kevin McCann's doing. He's using that apron. He's getting closer and closer to that number 13 machine. And he might do it on the outside by himself. We've seen people try it and not able to do it. So we're going to see what Kevin McCann does. Does he use the apron to get around the number 13? Or does he keep it on the track? He's going to keep it on the track, use the draft, get right up behind him, duck out, use the high side to his advantage as he's got the number 99 of Kevin Dixon right behind him. And these 4 are on a mission trying to get around this number 13 of Sahaj Padiyar. As Kevin Dixon drops it back in line on his outside. Gonna be able to lead that lap, but he's got Kevin Dixon right on his back bumper, able to keep it side by side with Sahaj Padiyar. Kevin Dixon going to drop down behind Sahaj, give Sahaj the extra encouraged bump that he needs. But here comes Derek Booker, not able to make the pass on the number 99. Good heads up move to drop down to the inside. He's going to make it work on the inside on that number 99. Kevin McCann going to possibly, no, goes to the back to the outside. And we got a good battle on our hands for these top 4. Kevin McCann almost got to the inside of Sahaj Padiyar. Had to back it up just a little bit, not able to get himself clear. And now we're going to see what Kevin McCann can do. See if he can get that good enough run again. Get his nose underneath the number 13. And get that lead back as Derek Booker hit the apron just a little bit. Had to back up his corner. Kevin McCann going to follow Sahaj Padiyar. Sahaj not coming up off that bottom at all. That's where he wants to be. And that has proven to work for him time and time again as Kevin McCann coming along with another good run on the outside, not able to lead a lap. But Kevin McCann still putting on a hell of a show, trying to get around the number 13 of Sahaj Padiyar. Sorry, had a little bit of a brain fart there. Alex Carver is out of pit road this time by, and look at that. Like I said, Kevin McCann goes to the inside, gets around Sahaj Padiyar using the apron, so the apron is the way to go. Sahaj has to go up to the outside. Now, what can Sahaj do? Can Sahaj be the one that can make it on the outside work? Kevin McCann got credited for leading that lap, I do believe, but now it is Kevin McCann out there on track with the lead as Alex Carver Robbins is a little bit slow. Not sure exactly what happened to that number 79 machine as we're going to go ahead and jump back onto his car here. Oh, he's got a broken right front. Left front. He got a Space Shuttle Award as we're going to go ahead and jump back to a replay of this. He's going to hit the apron, hit the grass. Oh, yeah, big Space Shuttle Award goes to that number 079 machine as he took flight. But so far, it is Kevin McCann in P number 1 with Sahaj on his outside, Kevin Dixon in third, and you have the number, the 86 of Derek Booker in P number 4, but you have Joe Morant, Alfred Denny, the number 81 of Nick Terrell in 7th, as these two are battling now. Nick Terrell on the inside of Alfred Denny. Alfred getting pushed to the outside, able to keep the pass made So now Alfred able to get back down to the bottom if he needs to. Not able to. That's going to open up a run for the number 81. He's going to get around the number 21. So move the 81 up to P number 6. Drop Alfredetti back to P number 7. And back up front here, they are almost 3 wide as Sahaj Patiar is putting the pressure on the number 033 of Kevin McCann. Kevin McCann going to use that apron, all of it, as much as he possibly can. Going to keep it down there, almost clear, not clear enough. As Sahaj is really using that side draft. If these cars did have side draft, you could definitely feel it, as Sahaj Patiar was right on his rear bumper cover. Sahaj not able to make it happen on the outside. Kevin McCann going to drop it below the apron yet again. So that way he can't take that inside away from him. Kevin McCann able to clear him that time by. And now we're going to see what these two do, or even a three-way battle for the lead. And that could open up the door for fourth place, making a move of Derek Booker. And so far, we have a gang of cars back here. Nick Terry is not one of them really, but Craig Hawkins still back there. Alfred Denny in 7th, Nick Terrell in 6th, Joe Morant in 5th, Derek Booker in 4th, Kevin Dixon, Sahaj Patiar, and Kevin McCann are your top 3, and they are separated by not even not even a second between these top 3. These guys are doing what they possibly can to make it work, as Kevin Dixon actually dropped back a little bit from the pack. So now it is between these two, as Kevin McCann has gotten the race lead back and does not want to give it up anytime soon. And here goes Sahaj Patiar. He's going to take it to the outside. Not going to be able to make the pass work just yet, as Kevin McCann is going to use that apron to his advantage yet again. And he's going to get credited for leading that lap. Sahaj can get right up to his door, but not able to make the pass. Then, as you see here, it looks like Kevin McCann doesn't want to. He's doing exactly what Sahaj Patiar was doing. He doesn't want to give up that bottom lane, as these guys are going back and forth on a position. If Sahaj can do exactly what Kevin McCann did, get to his inside, force him up, that could give the lead back to that number 13 machine of Sahaj Patiar. But so far, it looks like Nick Terrell is making a pass for P number 5 here. He's on the inside of Joe Morant. Move him up to P number 5. Nick Terrell on his way up here. Going to start working on that number 86, Derek Booker, as he goes all the way down to the inside. And not able, yeah, he got around the number 013 of Joe Morant nice and easily. Now he's starting to close in the gap between him and the number 86. So look out for Nick Terrell. He's going to make it hard for these leaders, as he's going to try to get himself up there, as it is still Kevin McCann in P number 1, Sahaj Patiar in P number 2, and then in third is Kevin Dixon with Derek Booker in fourth, and then fifth place is that number 81 machine. And just like that, Derek Booker moved the outside, let the 81 have it. So now what does the 81 do? Can the 81 get away from the 86 and catch these top 3? If he can, it would be a good battle up front, as it looks like the 81 was saving his tires long enough to get it all the way through here. So we're definitely going to see what these guys can do, as the 81 is slowly but surely pulling away from the number 86, and he's starting to reel in the number 99 of Kevin Dixon. But back up here towards the front, Kevin McCann and Sahaj Padiyar still side by side. Sahaj Padiyar trying to do that outside maneuver. Can't get it done. He's going to drop back below inside of or drop behind the number 033 of Kevin McCann. Not able to get the good enough run as Kevin McCann still holds on to the lead as it looks like Alfred Denny's going to try to make a pass on the number 013 of Joe Morant. And we're going to have a good battle on our hands if that number 81 can catch the number 99 and the 033 along with the number 13. So far, it looks like the number 99 did end up going down pit road. There is 4 laps to go. So now it comes to the question, who can make it on field and who can't? When are we going to see pit stops? Because obviously if the 99 couldn't make it, that may wonder who else can if we do have to have green flag pit stops. As it looks like Sahaj Padiyar got a little bit loose trying to get to the inside of the number 033. There are 3 laps to go here in tonight's bout as it is Kevin McCann opening up a gap a little bit bigger on that number 13. He's going to take it up to the top and then drop it right back down to the inside as it looks like Joe Morant was in pit road and Alfred Denny was able to make his way around as these two are going a little bit slow on track. And I believe we might have a caution here. So the 079 just, oh, we're going to have to back this on up here. I'm not sure exactly what happened. But, oh, Joe Morant and Alex Carver actually got into a little bit of a scruffle match. As we're going to go ahead and jump up to the chase cam here. Alex Carver ended up breaking a left right front, not able to turn it, and that is a space shuttle indeed. No caution out on the track. 64 out of 65 laps. Nick Terrell really wanted to see a caution with the wreck, but they were able to keep it green as Kevin McCann might come away with the double win back to back as Kevin McCann comes around on the backstretch. Going into turn number 3 and 4, unless he has a little bit of a bobble or a mistake, Kevin McCann will go 2 for 2 tonight on the night with the second win of the season. So Kevin McCann finishing P number 1. Sahaj Padiyar finishing second. Nick Terrell in third. Derek Booker in fourth. Derek Alfred Denny in fifth. Craig Hawkins in sixth. Joe Morant in seventh. Kevin Dixon in eighth. Alex Carver Robbins in ninth. Paul Owens in 10th. And Frankie Franchicha in 11th. That was some good green flag racing there for the end of this race. You hate to see it with Joe Morant and Alex Carver as them two got together and they ended up having a little bit of a match on the wall. As we look here, our race results before we get our top 3 back into the booth, it is Kevin McCann holding out for the win number 2, Sahaj Padiyar in second, Nick Terrell in third, Derek Booker in fourth, Alfred Denny in fifth, Craig Hawkins in sixth, Joe Morant in seventh, Kevin Dixon in eighth, Alex Carver in ninth, Frankie Franchicha in 10th, and Paul Owens rounding out your 11 car field. So while that is going on, I'm going to go ahead and see if we just don't have our third place finisher in the broadcast waiting room as we're waiting for him. Uh, We have our third place finisher up here in the broadcast booth, Nick Terrell. This is Dylan in the CRN broadcasting booth. You got a copy? You got a copy, Nick?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, there you are. I wasn't sure if you had your mic muted or if you had the push to talk like I forget who it was. I can't even remember. It's been a long night. But anyways, the first race you did all right for yourself. You are new to the Core Racing League. You do know a couple people in the Core Racing League, like Carl Hanwork, Jimmy Covert, and a couple other people. So they were you ended up coming over here to run this IndyCar league with us. But the first race didn't really go your way, especially spinning out there towards the end. But the oval portion, you were in the back, and then all of a sudden you made that hard charge to the front, and it almost paid off for you in the end of this thing.
Yeah, I ran like map 5 a good chunk of the first part of the race. Hey, let me reset Discord real quick. I'll
Yep.
be right back. I'm sorry.
Yep. Alrighty, well, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Nick Terrell's mic. He needs to do a uh, update reset on his Discord. But while we do that, you heard it there. He was on map number 5 and then able to come back in and do pretty much go from the back of the pack all the way back up to the front, finishing P number 3. Not sure exactly how he could manage to do that because I know I couldn't do that, especially in the IR18s. But while we're waiting on him, we'll go ahead and move on to our second place finisher. That'll be Sahaj Padiyar. Sahaj, we just talked to you, and you said I didn't have any faith in you, and look at you. You're back up here in the booth. You proved me wrong. Kind of walk me through how your race went tonight in the oval part.
uh, this oval race, it was all right. I feel sorry for Derek. I didn't mean to bump him. I guess we both just tried to get to the bottom as fast as possible. And yeah, it was just stick to the bottom, and Kevin found more bottom than me on the tri-oval, so I couldn't really just get a pass done through the corners, no matter how much I tried.
Oh yeah, I mean you were trying so hard to get it done on the outside, and I mean
Yeah.
it seemed like anybody who tried to pass you on the outside could get right up to your door, but having that run coming off the corner, you just excelled at, and you would think, being on the outside, you'd have the better run off, but you just went to show that you could have a better run on the inside and be completely fine running where you were.
Yeah, it's just like the run off the corner just isn't enough to get around someone who can just hug the bottom now. No matter what you do, you're just gonna get up to their door, and whether it's side draft or just the shorter line, you're stuck.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I could tell that you wanted to be on that inside line because coming off of turn number 2, you were right there painting that white line, putting more white paint on it for everybody who couldn't see it. You were putting more paint on it, making it a little bit thicker for everybody out there. And when you seen Kevin coming around, going underneath the tri-oval, were you thinking maybe you should have done that too to keep him behind you, or were you just content keeping it up above the apron so he didn't spin out on that apron?
I was thinking more safety, just trying to not die in the tri-oval, so I just didn't like to venture down there. But Kevin ran it real well, so I followed him through, and I was like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, I mean, we've
hmm
seen a couple of times, somebody would try to just run like paint that white line like they're going through an actual corner, and they just made one little hiccup and that upset the car in a big way. Ended up going through the grass and making a space shuttle out of their car. But P2, you can't be too mad at it. I mean, it's a good points night for you. You led a couple laps, pretty sure you kept it all as 0x. You might have had a couple of off tracks there in the road course section of the race tonight, but all in all, you still
Somehow I
kept the car
didn't.
clean. Huh?
Somehow I didn't get any X's on the road course.
Yeah, see, look at that. Boom.
Hmm, that's great.
You,
Three
uh,
3 points or something. I don't know.
practice makes perfect. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
didn't
yeah, I
practice.
mean,
The first
yeah,
one.
exactly. I mean, P2 for both nights. I mean, for both races, it isn't a tough. It isn't really terrible. Now, as long as you can keep um, the momentum going towards into the season, as we've seen you do last season, you could possibly challenge Kevin McCann for that top spot going further into the season.
I definitely feel like I can. I just need to learn my driving style, extract all the pace I can get. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well,
all I really got to do.
yeah. I mean, the schedule isn't as tough as the real F1 schedule is. So I mean, you got a couple of ovals, you got a couple of road courses, so on and so forth. But either way, I've seen you run. I've now pronounced your name right on multiple occasions, and now we just can't wait to see the 13 instead of the whatever your number was used to
72.
be. 072. I almost called you
Yeah.
the 072 until I looked at your number plate. It said 13. But just a little off season number change there. But with that being said, before we get you on out of here and celebrate with your teammates, does anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, JPad Discount Liquors for sponsoring me, QZ Motorsports supporting me and Alex doing this indie league. Yeah, and you guys are always just putting this on every week. I love watching these.
Yeah, we love broadcasting them as well as we're here every week giving you guys a big
Mm,
show. So we're gonna go ahead and let you get on out of here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
thanks.
All right, that was our second place finisher. We're going to go ahead and bring back in our third place finisher, Nick Terrell. This is Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
That I do, and actually a responsive Discord this time.
It always works. There, a little bit of an update to Discord, and we're all good to go. But with the road course, you spun out right in front of the race winner, Kevin McCann, coming to one or two to go in the race, able to keep it off the wall, did make your car into a rocket ship or a space shuttle, I should say. You were able to keep the car clean. Just had that one incident that I seen. But in the oval side, like you said, you were running engine map number 5, wanted to stay in the back as much as you possibly could. And then towards the end, we seen you go from the back to the front. If you had more laps, do you think you could have caught the second and first place run?
No, I would have needed a caution. They were in a draft pack, and they were just adding gap every single lap. I was just running pretty much either by myself or with Derek a little bit. We just couldn't do anything, so it was just getting worse as the race went on. But yeah, that first race was pretty fun because I was trying a zero stop strategy, and so I was running again like map 5 for like like the first 23 laps or whatever it was, and it was just the last few laps whenever I saw Kevin getting closer and closer to me that I was looking at my fuel and I was trying to like gamble on like how much push to pass I could use because I'd saved all 10 and I used Race Lab, so I saw that Kevin only had I think 2 at the time, so I knew I had a 10-2 advantage with him at the time. So I was trying to pace that, but I ended up burning up my fuel and just had to pace around, and I think I got 6th or 7th or whatever. But it was a gamble. It was fun though.
Oh yeah, it's always fun, and me, Carl, Jimmy, everybody here in Core Racing, they're glad to have anybody come and be a part of the IndyCar series or any series, for a matter of fact, that the Core Racing League puts on. But now we go to, I believe it is. Let me look at the schedule here. I believe, yeah, we go to Road America next week. How do you feel about Road America? Is it a stronger point for you, or are you just trying to get the feel for the car and the feel for how these guys race?
I actually really like Road America. It's one of my favorite tracks. In fact, where I met Jimmy and Carl, a league that we used to race in, One of the last, or like the last season they ran the GTE, I always ran the Corvette, and I actually won one of the last races there at Road America. IndyCar, drastically different car, but I really enjoy this car. I enjoy the Dallara P217 as well. So there's some similarities between these two, and it's just a lot of fun. There'll be some strategy. Obviously, I'll have to kind of see fuel consumption with different maps and strategize a little and see if we can do like a one or two stop or whatever it ends up being. But yeah, looking forward to racing everybody. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the broadcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, before we let you get on out of here and celebrate that hard-fought P3 victory, is there anybody we want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank my sponsor, Mountain Dew and Speedway, and they help keep me fueled up and cooled down and keep this forward powered and keep it running. Thank you all and everyone else for the invite, and glad to be around.
All right, Nick. Well, hopefully we'll be catching you again next week at Road America, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again in the booth.
Thanks for having me. Good one.
Yep. All right, that was our second place finisher, or third place finisher of Nick Terrell. But now we're going to move on to our race winner. 2 for 2 tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, Kevin McCann, bringing it home for the second win of the night. The 033 DuPont Chevrolet paint scheme. Kevin, this is Dylan in the booth. Get a copy?
Yeah, long time no talk.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, we were just talking to each other, what, 40 minutes ago, somewhere around in there?
Yeah, I told you I was going to give it all I got, and looks like I was able to bring it home victorious again. But that wasn't an easy race, I'll tell you that. Sahaj definitely gave me a run for my money there toward the end, but fortunately, that bottom line, just holding the bottom line there, was so strong and really tough to pass on the outside, especially once you had a few laps on the tires. So I pretty much just was able to hold that line and hold them off there toward the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I even asked Sahaj Pettyar. I was like, when you seen Kevin McCann go below the apron on the front stretch, did you think you wanted to go down there to try to block the run that he would have, or were you just trying to keep it safe? And he went for the safe route instead of trying to block your run. So that's a good move by him to not block it, but evidently gave you the run to get to the inside of him and ended up getting you to the lead. And you just seen how well the inside worked better than the outside. He was able to get to your door, but not able to make the pass on you on the outside. And that ended up pretty much giving you the lead and the win for the whole night in general.
Yeah, that move I put on him, that was a pretty calculated move because I think probably like about 5-10 laps there, I was the same thing, roles reversed. I was on the outside, and I knew it was going to be very tricky to get around him. So I played around with a few different things, and I think I just caught him by surprise. I don't think he expected me to try it off of four, because I was really putting pressure on him coming out of two a few laps prior. So I think I just caught him sleeping there, and sort of timed that move perfectly. And yeah, by the time he realized it was happening, I think he realized it was too late for a block. And yeah, like you said, he took the safe route. But it was good racing overall here tonight. I had a couple mistakes early, but in the end, we brought it home in victory lane.
Yeah, the only mistake that I really seen you have, it looked like you got a little bit loose right in front of Paul Owens. He gave you a little bit of a love tap there. You sent it for a little bit of a spin, able to keep it off the wall, and you were able to run it right back up through the field and collecting the second win of the night. So I mean, obviously, with these cars and the speed that these cars have, the guy right behind you, if he's right up on your back bumper, I should say, he doesn't really have enough time to check up to give you that room to kind of save the car when you need to. But you kept it off the wall, you kept it off of other cars, so that was good locking it down, not hitting anything. And did you end up having any type of damage that you had to fix, or did you not have any damage?
Yeah, I actually had to take a quick repair. Carl was looking at my car and he said he couldn't see any damage on it. But when I went down pit road, I had 2 minutes of optional repair. So I don't know where the damage was, but once I saw that, I went ahead and took a quick repair from that. But yeah, I got a little loose there on that restart. Um, and I really don't know why. I can't explain it. The only thing I can think of is maybe I clipped the apron with my left rear tire, and that just got the car upset. And I was kind of, chasing it up the track then at that point. Couldn't really get out of the throttle. I had guys right behind me, but I never had the car do that again the rest of the night. So no idea what that one was.
Yeah, it just, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It is what it is. You ended up coming back from it, ended up getting the win. So before we let you get on out of here, does anybody want to give a special shout out to and thanks?
Yeah, again, just thanks to all the guys who put the Core Racing League on, and appreciate you doing the broadcast, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
Absolutely. See you.
See you. All right, that was our race winner for tonight of Kevin McCann in the O 33. So we'll go ahead and go down these running order one last time before we do our send off for the night. It is Kevin McCann in P number one, Sahaj Petiar in second, Nick Terrell in third, Derek Booker in fourth, Alfred Denny in fifth, Craig Hawkins in sixth, Joe Morant in seventh, Kevin Dixon in eighth, Alex Carver in ninth, Frankie Franchicha in 10th, and Paul Owens rounding out your 11 car field. Tune in tomorrow night as Carl and Jimmy bring you Core Racing League Vintage Cup Series action from Charlotte Motor Speedway, as I'll be back in the car in that number 38 Raised Energy Machine. And then Sunday, I will be back in the booth as the Premier Series goes to. Let me look here. I think it's Lincoln Benin for Rallycross 12 lap feature, as I will bring you the coverage for that. And then Monday night, we have, I believe, I don't, the GT3 series is me, Carl, and Jimmy will have a podcast, pretty much as you could possibly call it, inside of the cars, as those two are in the GT4s and I am in the GT3. So look out for that on Monday night. And then Tuesday night, we start the ARCA series as me and Ricky Gonzalez will be back in the booth. And then we'll be right back here Wednesday with the IndyCar series and the ECRC. But that's going to do it for me tonight, as we will take the night off and come back with some more content tomorrow. But make sure you guys take care and brush your hair.